Let's start by configuring a simple project using Xlogic. We go to the Parameter tab and select Backnet. You can see that this button has not been highlighted, and that is because the hardware selected does not support it. So let's support an Ethernet based PLC and select that. We'll now add some straightforward blocks, some digital flags. Let's put those in first. These will control some digital outputs for turning on and off. And we'll also add 3 further digital outputs which we can turn on and off directly. 3 analog flags showing some analogs. And we'll also put a message text block in so we can see what's happening on the front screen of the PLC. Connect our 3 function blocks, digital flags, to 3 digital outputs. Let's tidy a few things up. Okay, that looks pretty tidy to me. Now by clicking on the show parameters, what you'll see on the screen in a light cyan colour is the Modbus addresses of all of those modules, and we're going to need those later. Now let's build a display for the front of the PLC. This is going to be the first bit as the status of the 3 flags. So select flag. We want the start flag to be 1, but we only want the first 3, so the count is 3. We insert that. Now let's have a look at the outputs. So go and select I/O. This is from the main CPU, and again we only want a count of 3. And we can put the final 3 outputs underneath. Now we'll put the analog flags in. And we'll just name them so we know what they are. And that's the front LCD screen completed for us. So click OK. Right, now we can go to the configure button, select Backnet IP, and then go into our digital and analog objects, and we can name those. So we'll do the 3 flags first. Okay. Now we'll do the 6 outputs. And once we've completed the 6 outputs, that'll be all our digital signals for the Backnet configured. Okay, now let's configure the Backnet for the analog flags, which we've got 3 of them. So you get the idea on how simple it is to configure both digital and analog signals for Backnet IP using the Rievtech PLCs. Once we've done that, click OK and OK again. And let's connect to the PLC using Ethernet. There's the IP address. Okay, we're connected. See in the bottom right left hand corner. Date and time. Download the program. Okay, that's downloaded. Should have given it time to run first. There we are, when you get that message. Now we see it running, the blue bar flashing at the bottom, so we can go into Online Configurator and see the status of the program. Move that screen up and there's our LCD on the PLC showing that everything is switched off and all the analog values are 0. I'm going to use Rievtech EasyBuilder Pro to display both the Backnet and the Modbus addresses and data that we see on the screen. So here's a little project I built earlier, and I'll show the details of this project in another video. Here we have the Modbus settings. So we have the Modbus IP address of the PLC, and you notice I'm not using 502 as the port, I'm using 8008, which is what was configured in the Xlogic software. And in the Backnet side of it, we go into settings, and again, obviously the IP address is the same, the port number is a standard Backnet port. And once we'd configured that, we would import the tags, and Rievtech would bring all the Backnet tags that we'd configured in the PLC into the project. Just a quick look at what is behind each of the buttons. So for the Modbus side, as you remember, the Modbus ID of the F1 flag that's shown in the PLC is that, and the Backnet address of F1 is that, and you must use index 0 if you're using Rievtech, otherwise it won't give you the correct data. Same with the analog information. The analog flag Modbus address is as in that light blue colour in the PLC program, and again it's read in the Backnet address starting at index 0, so we get the analog flag values. So let's have a look how that appears when we use the online simulator. So I'm not using a real HMI here, I'm just using the software and the simulation of it. And I've also got a Backnet Explorer. Now we'll do a scan here, and as you can see, it's come up and it's saying that there is already a Backnet application being used, and that's because the PLC only supports one Backnet client. So now we can turn on the flags and we can see them turning off on in the Backnet, and you can also see them changing in the top right of the screen as we're in the online display for the PLC, and individually turning on the outputs using Backnet or Modbus. So we can set some analog values, put in 500 for this one, and you'll see it change on the LCD and in the program for AF1. There we go. And we can use a Backnet ID to put a value in, 250, and there's a 250, and we see it on the Modbus side as well. And we can use a slider if we want to change the value. So that's all there is really to connecting both a Modbus TCP client and a Backnet IP client to a Rievtech PLC. Okay, I've closed down the HMI simulator software and reopened the Backnet Explorer client, and we'll go and scan the network, and it should come back and find the Rievtech PLC. There we go, and we can have a look at what it's found, and you can see all the F flags and the digital outputs and the analog flags. Now if we individually go back into there and select the ones we're interested in this particular client, and we can go into scan mode and see the values change. Here's all the values, all at 0 at the moment. We'll open the Rievtech simulated HMI again, and what we should see is the Modbus side was okay because we can have multiple clients, but the Backnet should give us an error, which is fine because we're going to use the client, and here we have it. There we are, device no response, and because what's not filled in on the screen is the Backnet stuff, that is telling you that basically the Backnet IP from the Rievtech is not available. But here we can use the Modbus and click, and in the Backnet client up above you can see the values changing for the flags. Let's do some analog ones. That was a lucky guess to get 500. Now we'll turn on the outputs, and we might as well have everything on and all up to maximum. And that's how you do it. Thank you for your time. So that you don't miss any of our videos or demos, please take this moment to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive notifications. We appreciate your support, and look forward to giving you some more demos in the near future. Thank you.